Following is a video of the October 10th meeting where Council approves another year, yet another year, for MVCA to just start on the Short Park project. On September 26th, I presented a petition of over 90 signatures of people around the village wanting an open meeting. We were all ignored. Let's start with what the mayor said about the status of the project on September 26th, which was almost 3 years after we voted.
We're in the early exploratory stage of this step. For better or worse, we are in the early stage. It's a novel thing, building on land. Okay? We're in the early stages.
My name is Matthew McCaslin. I actually live here in NEWTOWN, right here on 3628 Church Street. And the reason I want to come and address the council tonight is a couple weeks ago on a Sunday, a lady knocked on my door and asked me to sign a petition. And so we talked, and I told her my kids went to Miami Valley, and she's like, yeah. And so we talked some more, and she brought up some great topics about what's going on over there. And she's like, there's not been transparency, and really we're just really wanting to get a council meeting together that we can have transparency and talk some more about what's going on, and we don't feel like the people are getting everything that they need. So I told her transparency was great. I told her I would sign the petition, and I did so. I also came to the meeting 2 weeks ago and saw that presented and realized that it wasn't really a plea for transparency. And so I actually feel like I would like to take my name off of that petition or you know, whatever. And primarily because what I saw after going back and actually looking about I got some texts and some information more from other individuals about this. And the transparency that they're really looking for is not the transparency. I mean, I'm not sure what they're looking for, I guess. And so with that being said, I think it's more of a personal thing that's going on with somebody, and so I would like to just withdraw my name from that petition. And obviously, I think most people want transparency. So with that statement, I was happy to sign, and I told her that my kids went there for transparency purposes. I actually work at the school, and I think the school wants transparency as well. But I don't think that's what was presented the other night, and so I'd like to withdraw my name from that. So I did find out that another individual actually has been, or I guess their son has actually been a student at Miami Valley. So that's kind of why I kind of want to step back and say, you know, I think this is more of a personal thing and not really a transparent thing. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Chris Hicks, and I'm the ex-MVCA parent to which he was referring. I just thought it'd be good to give a very quick background. Back in late 2015, early 2016, myself and another parent had serious questions about the Short Park agreement. An example of that was that the agreement had MVCA become responsible for all hazardous waste, environmental issues at the Short Park site if they were ever discovered, regardless of who put the waste there. That was part of one of 20 big concerns we had with the agreement that we tried to bring forward internally with MVCA. We were largely demonized for doing so and could get no records at all. So when the gentleman talks about transparency, it took about 18 months to get records of anything released from the project from MVCA. That happened for the first time in March of this year, where about 700 pages of documents were revealed. That became the catalyst to all the stuff that's going on now, because it revealed all the cutting of corners that was taking place, the environmental issues that were being skirted that caused us to go back to this early exploratory stage that you'll hear the mayor say over and over again. So that's the first part, the records. But let's look at transparency today. The agreement itself, you can't see it right now unless you come into the NEWTOWN office and get a copy. It used to be online, but it got taken offline. The project site, the Spark-Ohio project site, has not been updated in over a year. And even to this day, NEWTOWN and MVCA are fighting in court to prevent the disclosure of any financial information related to the project. There's many more issues that we could talk about, but those are key issues relating to transparency. As for me, I am a person that really gets invested in transparency type issues. You might have seen even other things that I've been involved with that relate to transparency type issues. I'm proud to do that. I'm also proud to work with people that I feel get dismissed, ignored, and neglected by their own leaders when they come forward with concerns and issues. People that have to live there. People that have to live there and are living by there that really deserve a lot more respect. So let's get back to the meeting.
I just have a couple of, two comments. One, my name is Jeff Hubbard. I do live on Drake Street, lived in NEWTOWN for 26 years. I'm very happy living in this town. It's perfect. 2 quick points. I would like to thank our police chief for his unending work that he's doing for the heroin epidemic. He's doing God's work, and it's an amazing thing, and he's dedicated a lot of time. He probably didn't get as much recognition or doesn't want it, because he feels he's just probably doing his job, but I want to make sure that everybody realizes, for the record, that he is going above and beyond what most normal people would do for this. That being said, my only real question is, I understand transparency. It seems to be, I'm new to this, so I apologize. As far as Short Park, I did vote for the passage of MCVA taking it over and putting in a nice football stadium or a stadium complex. My biggest questions is, will it be available when they're not using it for the use of the people of the village? Meaning, will they have access to the track to be able to walk on it during when the park is open? And also, my biggest question is I'm not sure what declaring an emergency does, as far as why it needs to be declared, since we're so far evidently very early in this process as far as deciding what needs to be done to the land to make it stable, and quite honestly, how it can be built on, and what materials are going to be used. And I certainly trust engineering firms. They're a lot smarter than I am. But as far as, I just don't understand why there has to be an emergency declared for this process at all, as opposed to letting it just flow through.
I would comment that typically an ordinance goes into effect 30 days after it's passed. So if it was passed tonight, it wouldn't be effective for an additional 30 days, which would put, MVCA, when they approached the village in August, indicated that they would need a year in order to begin construction, and the addendum is written such that they need to begin construction by September 22nd of next year. So the emergency clause was put on so that there isn't an additional 30-day delay, which would prohibit MVCA from being able to meet the deadlines that are in
So
the addendum.
the emergency is basically being declared so there's more time given so things can be done properly? Is that how I understand it? In a nutshell?
It's there so that they have adequate time to meet the deadlines in the addendum.
Okay, great, thanks.
Now we'll see a video of someone asking a question from the floor at the October 10th meeting, but before we watch that, we'll see how I was treated on September 26th after I presented a petition of over 90 signatures and then asked a question from the floor.
In the park, 2 hours of my evening time talking to her. I am transparent and I spent a lot of time talking with her. You're done.
Actually, you still haven't answered my question.
You're done.
What I want to do is make sure that whatever they do to the park also enhances the rest of the park, because there are so many people that ride their bikes up and down that trail, that should be the showcase for people to say, gosh, NEWTOWN is a great place. They've got a nice, there used to be a playground that no longer exists.
The equipment was outdated and we were told to remove it.
Okay, well, I'm just pointing out that I'm hoping that through all of this, that not only do we get a nice public facility that MCDA uses, but lets the village also use as well as needed, but also gives us a great place for the Christmas celebration that we used to have on. You could put that out in that field and make it an incredible setup.
So I can rest assured this council is going to do a good job with the process, and I'm sure MVCA is going to do a first-class job with the facility. They're committed to it. It's right next to their school. They want nothing but a first-class facility. So let's the engineering, let it go through, and we'll see what needs to be done. You're building on a landfill, so it's not, problematic in some respects.
The last point I would make, you mentioned the playground equipment. That's on the lower level, and MBAC will not have anything to do with that lower level. That is ours, and remains ours to decide how it's used. And we've looked at some concept plans that have been presented to council to talk about that. Clearly, we want playground equipment similar to what we have in Mandy to be incorporated in that. And we've also looked at, the ball field down there and relocating the basketball and gazebo and things of that nature. So we are looking at having a really nice plan for that part of the park. So we would incorporate that.
It's a pretty tough time frame right now to get final plans, in a form to be approved by the village engineer by May 1. They have to determine how much film needs to be brought in and prepare detailed plans of the whole project that the Brandstetter firm can sign off on. The plans are prepared by MVCA and signed by a certified engineer, a licensed engineer, then they come to Brandstetter. There's a lot of work to do between now and May 1 to get the plans in the final. I can't imagine any more transparency than our meeting in May when Barry Franz presented a detailed PowerPoint presentation where he went through the history of the site and the next steps. That's available to any resident or anybody who comes into council. And he was brought in at the request of the Brandstetter firm. They said, we need environmental engineering. That's how he came to advise the engineering firm. And Mr. Franz went through the whole history in 2 weeks at some expense and prepared a very detailed presentation. And that's available. It's a PowerPoint. It's very, very detailed. And we're following the steps in that presentation. The school is going to do an assessment of the site and determine the depth of the cap. That will determine how much fill they need to bring in. And the addendum we're going to talk about tonight and possibly approve would give the school 7 months to prepare detailed plans and present them to the village engineer. Those plans have to be approved by the school's engineer. A licensed engineer has to sign off. Then they're presented to the Brandstetter firm, which is the village engineer. And that will then be presented to this council. We will have a public meeting. MVCA can make a presentation. We are being transparent. And I agree with you. A couple of people, a resident and a non-resident, have made this a personal issue. I can understand about the resident. Her house is right next to the park. She likes the green space. But the non-resident is not a business owner, not a resident, doesn't pay taxes, but he wants to kill the project. And this project could benefit NEWTOWN, the school. It can be a win-win. We're following our normal process. Brandstetter, if the engineers, they have to review and approve the plans. Once there are viable plans, they will come to this council. We'll have a town hall meeting. The 6 people here have to agree to go ahead. And and we will be transparent now, is it's taken too long. They were supposed to begin construction by September 27th of 2017. That was 2 years from when we signed the agreement. But dealing with the landfill, dealing with the park was more problematic than people really anticipated. So we're a little bit behind the curve. That's why the addendum is going to be discussed tonight. And so they can move ahead. They want to take soil samples. They want to engage engineering firms to look at the depth of the cap. It's important that we give them the addendum so they can move ahead.
The thing that people have to understand is that what we're doing tonight is not allowing them to go out and start building tomorrow. There are a lot of things that have to be done to get to that point. And the first part is exactly what has been talked about with the environmental work and the evaluation and satisfying the engineering firm that all of those things are in place. And then the next part is the building commissioner has to approve what they want. And then finally, the NBCA has to present evidence of adequate funding to the village for us to say, yes, they can go ahead. And after all three of those things are done, that's when they can start, and not until then. It is not a deal, so to speak, until all those things are satisfied. So we hope that they will be successful in all three of those steps, and we firmly believe that they will be. But if in fact, for whatever reason, they change their mind, or they can't fulfill it, then the deal is on. And then it's up to the village to decide what we want to do for the park going forward. And I would comment, you made a comment about them taking over the park. And I'm not, kind of mincing words here, but a lot of people have used that terminology that they're taking it over, and that's not true. The park remains with the village. We own it. We have an agreement that it would be a joint venture to do the improvements and to operate it as, jointly. Their activities for their school and village activities for residency use. So it's not that we're turning the whole thing over to them and they can do whatever they want. That can be further from the truth.
If it was their property, it'd be a lot easier to build on it. They have to go through a lot of hoops when it's public property, competitive bidding, prevailing wage, getting through the grandstand. That's the village engineer. So all we're doing tonight is giving them some more time to get the final construction plans that will come into the village, and then we'll have a public meeting and people can address this and talk about it. But right now, we don't have the final construction plans, what they anticipate, because they don't know how much fill needs to be brought in. That site has to be raised by fill. How much, we don't know yet. That's going to cost money. So they want to determine by taking samples how much fill needs to be brought in and how efficient they can do that. There's a lot of free dirt, but will it be free when they need it? So it's an engineering question right now. On May 1, we'll have final plans, hopefully. And as Mr. Tietmeyer said, we'll go through the proof of funds. We'll have a town hall meeting. We'll be very transparent. I can't imagine being more transparent than we've been. We have the third reading of an ordinance approving a second addendum to the agreement with Miami Valley Christian Academy to construct a sports complex at Short Park and declaring an emergency. Is there a motion to approve the addendum?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this? We've talked about it a little bit already. I would just add that the solicitor working with the village engineer put in various benchmarks in the addendum. The final complete construction plans are due by May 1, 2018. Final and complete bid documents must be submitted to the village by June 15, 2018. The project shall be advertised for bid on or before July 15, 2018. And then construction would commence on or before September 22nd, 2018. Those are pretty rigorous benchmarks, and Miami Valley has paid the village the $40,000 under the addendum. So as we sit here tonight, we've been paid $50,000 under the agreement by Miami Valley. They complied with their part. Anybody want to add anything to this discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. I'll call for Mr. Carroll.
Yes.
Ms. McDonald.
Yes.
Mr. Thurman.
Yes.
Mr. Diekmeyer.
Yes.
Mr. Short.
Yes.
Mr. Zorns.
Yes.
It's unanimous. This signature.
Did we include the amendment here?
So for over 6 months now, I've been told again and again that we would have an open public meeting. I went out, I got 90 plus signatures from residents of the village and presented it to council asking for an open public meeting, and still we're ignored and disregarded.